Okay, so picture this.
Uh,
You're a parent just going about your normal routine, making dinner, checking the mail, and then the unthinkable happens. Your child disappears.
yeah, it's every parent's worst nightmare.
And this chilling scenario sadly became a reality for the family of 13-year-old Melaine Soto.
Yeah, this case has been all over the news lately, and for good reason.
It's just so disturbing, and every new detail seems to make it even worse.
You know, as a society, we kind of have this morbid fascination with true crime.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, look at the popularity of true crime podcasts, documentaries, you name it.
But these stories aren't just entertainment, though, right?
No, definitely not.
They raise serious questions about justice, accountability, the dark side of human nature.
Absolutely. And they force us to confront some uncomfortable truths about the world we live in.
I think that's why we do these deep dives, you know?
Right.
We try to go beyond the headlines
Exactly.
to really understand the complexities of these cases.
Peel back the layers.
And hopefully in the process, learn something about ourselves and how we can make the world a safer place.
You know, hopefully prevent these kinds of tragedies from happening in the future.
So we've got 3 true crime cases to dive into today.
Each one more unsettling than the last.
And yeah, buckle up because it's going to be a heavy one.
Definitely.
Let's start with the Madeline Soto case.
Yeah, this one's really heartbreaking.
So many levels.
Absolutely.
Every new detail just makes it more disturbing.
I mean, where do you even begin with this one?
Well, the basic situation. 13-year-old girl, Melaine Soto, is found murdered.
Right.
And her mother's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns, he's the prime suspect.
Yeah, he was the last person to see her alive.
But here's where it gets really unsettling.
Okay.
Police, they believe they have footage.
Security footage?
Yeah, showing Melaine already deceased in Stefan's car
No way.
the morning she was reported missing.
Oh my God.
And this directly contradicts his claim.
So he was lying about what happened.
Yeah, and it just paints a really dark picture
Oh.
of what might have happened.
I mean, it's just chilling to think about.
And the police investigation has revealed some really unsettling details
Okay.
about the relationship between Stefan and Melaine.
Yeah, I read about this. It's really disturbing.
Melane's mother, Jennifer, told investigators
Uh,
that Stefan and Melaine, they would sometimes share a bed.
like sleep in the same bed.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
even when Jennifer wasn't home.
I don't even know what to say to that.
It's just mind-blowing, right?
How could a mother allow that?
That's the question, isn't it?
I mean, was she completely oblivious?
Did she just not see this as a problem?
It's hard to fathom.
And it gets worse.
Oh God, how could it get worse?
When police showed Jennifer a photo
Okay.
of Stefan sexually abusing Melaine,
No.
her reaction was even more unsettling.
How so?
She seemed to be in denial,
Like she didn't understand what she was seeing.
almost as if she couldn't grasp the reality of it.
That is so disturbing.
It's like she was blocking it out.
It's a psychological defense mechanism, maybe?
Possibly, but it raises so many questions.
I mean, was Jennifer somehow complicit in this abuse?
Was she genuinely unaware of what was happening under her own roof?
How could a mother allow this to continue?
Especially with a young, vulnerable child.
It's beyond comprehension.
These are the questions investigators are trying to answer right now.
Yeah, and it's a complex situation for sure.
It's possible the full truth may never come out.
Unfortunately, that happens sometimes.
But here's what we do know. Stefan has been charged with Melaine's murder
Good.
and 60 counts of child sex abuse.
60 counts, that's just horrific.
Unbelievable, right?
It's just sickening.
And as this case moves forward, I think we all have to wonder, will Jennifer face any charges?
I mean, will she be held accountable for her potential involvement?
Did she enable this abuse?
It's hard to imagine she could be completely innocent given what we know now.
Yeah, I mean, the evidence seems pretty damning.
This case is just a tragic reminder.
That evil can lurk in the most unexpected places.
Even within the supposed safety of a family home.
Absolutely. I mean, you think your child is safe at home.
You hope so.
But sometimes, even the people closest to us can be monsters.
It's a scary thought.
It is, but it's a reality we have to face.
Absolutely.
We need to be vigilant,
Not just for our own safety, but for the safety of our loved ones.
especially children.
They're so vulnerable.
They're the ones who need our protection the most,
And we have to be aware of the signs of abuse.
to know what to look for.
And to speak up if we see something that's not right.
Absolutely, silence only protects the abusers.
We have to be the voice for those who can't speak for themselves.
All right, so let's shift gears a little bit
Okay.
to a case that's been making headlines in the music industry.
Oh, yeah. This one's been all over the news.
The rapper Diddy.
I know who you're talking about.
Recently, security footage surfaced
Okay.
showing him physically assaulting his ex-girlfriend Cassie.
In a hotel hallway, right?
Yeah.
That's awful.
And this wasn't just some minor altercation.
Mm-hmm.
This was brutal.
I saw the footage. It was hard to
I
watch.
mean, really disturbing.
Yeah.
It shows Diddy dragging Cassie by her hair,
Jeez.
throwing her to the ground, kicking her,
Oh my God.
even throwing glass vases at her.
What?
Yeah,
That's insane.
it's a shocking display of violence.
It really is.
To make matters worse, there are rumors that Diddy paid the hotel to suppress the footage.
To keep it quiet.
Exactly.
Wow.
Which, if true, really speaks volumes about the power dynamics at play.
I mean, he thinks he can just buy his way out of anything.
It's almost like he thought he could make the whole thing disappear.
Like it never happened.
But thankfully, that didn't happen.
Yeah. The truth has a way of coming out.
And in response to this footage surfacing, Diddy released what he called an apology on his Instagram.
An apology. Huh?
Yeah, let's take a listen to that clip.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Okay,
I'm curious to hear what he has to say.
here we go.
All right. So that was his apology.
Yeah. What did you think?
I don't know. It's hard to say.
I mean, he talks about his journey seeking treatment, becoming a better man.
Yeah, he's focusing a lot on himself,
Right.
his personal growth.
But it feels like he's skirting around the actual issue.
He does salt.
Yeah. He never directly apologizes to Cassie for his actions.
Oh, that's interesting you picked up on that too. I was thinking the same thing. It's like he's trying to take some responsibility, but without actually admitting to anything specific.
Exactly.
Like he's not really owning up to what he did.
It makes you think about what constitutes a sincere apology, right?
Right. Especially when you're dealing with someone as powerful and influential as Diddy
Yeah. I mean, can you truly be sorry if you try to silence your victim?
and sweep the whole thing under the rug.
Exactly.
It's a question that goes beyond just this particular case, though.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It touches on a much larger conversation about accountability.
Especially for those in positions of power.
We see this all the time, don't we?
Oh.
Public figures issuing these carefully crafted apologies.
But how do we know when they're actually genuine?
Right. Are they truly remorseful, or is it just a calculated PR move?
Damage control.
Exactly. I mean, it's hard to tell sometimes.
It's tough.
But, you know, I think actions speak louder than words.
Oh, absolutely.
A genuine apology should be accompanied by a commitment to change,
Yeah.
to making amends,
To proving that you're actually sorry.
and to ensuring that such behavior never happens again.
Okay, so let's move on to our final case for today.
All right.
And this one is particularly chilling
Okay.
because it involves the dark side of social media fame.
Interesting.
We're talking about Ali Abulaban.
I've heard that name.
He's the TikToker known as Jin Kid.
Oh, yeah. I think I've seen some of his videos.
He's currently on trial for a double murder.
Wow.
His wife, Anna, and a man he believes she was having an affair with.
Oh, my God. That's terrible.
It's like something straight out of a movie.
It's a real-life tragedy.
Ali was allegedly incredibly controlling and possessive.
I've heard that, too.
He secretly installed a recording app on his daughter's iPad.
To spy on his wife.
Yeah, to keep tabs on Anna.
That's creepy.
And through this app, he heard Anna laughing and talking with another man,
Oh, no.
and that sent him into a rage.
So he went after them.
He drove to their apartment
Okay.
and shot both Anna and the other man.
Jeez. Talk about a crime of passion.
Now he's facing a murder trial,
Of course.
and his defense is raising some very complex questions
Like what?
about mental health,
Okay.
responsibility,
Uh-huh.
and the potential for victim blaming.
Interesting. So what's his defense exactly?
Well, he's claiming that his wife's actions drove him to murder.
Like she provoked him somehow.
Yeah, it's a defense we've heard before.
And it's not a very strong one.
It always raises red flags for me.
Yeah, it sounds like he's trying to shift the blame.
Exactly. Is this a genuine mental health issue?
Or is it just a convenient way to try to avoid responsibility?
That's what the jury will have to decide.
Right. I mean, it's their job to sort through the evidence and determine the truth.
But Ali's testimony is fascinating.
Tell me more.
But it also requires a healthy dose of skepticism.
Okay. I can see that.
He paints this picture of his wife's desire to move to San Diego,
Okay.
leading to a lifestyle of partying and drugs,
Huh.
which he claims negatively impacted his mental health.
And somehow justifies his actions.
Exactly. But where does personal responsibility come in?
Yeah, I mean, even if his wife was engaging in behaviors he didn't approve of.
It doesn't give him the right to take a life.
No, of course not.
And it's important to remember that Ali also admitted to physical violence towards Anna in the past.
Oh, wow. So there's a history of abuse.
Yeah, while he claims she was sometimes violent towards him as well.
Okay.
This raises concerns about a pattern of domestic abuse.
That can't be ignored.
Exactly. It's a huge red flag.
It sounds like he's trying to use his wife's alleged actions
Yeah.
to deflect responsibility for his own violent behavior.
It's classic victim blaming.
It's so common, unfortunately.
And it's something we need to be very careful about.
When analyzing these types of cases,
Absolutely, we can't allow a narrative to emerge,
where a woman's choices
even if they're perceived as reckless or irresponsible.
are used to excuse a man's violence,
No way.
it's never okay.
So to get a clearer picture of Ali's state of mind,
Okay.
let's listen to some of the actual evidence presented in the case.
I'm all ears.
We have some audio clips of voice messages
Okay.
that Ali sent to Anna,
Wow.
as well as a news report detailing his testimony.
All right, let's hear it.
These clips provide a raw glimpse into the dynamics of their relationship,
Interesting.
and they offer valuable insight into Ali's mindset leading up to the murders.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right, these are those voice messages.
Wow.
You can hear the anger, the possessiveness, the control in his voice.
Chilling.
It sends shivers down my spine.
I don't blame you. It's hard not to feel uneasy listening to that.
I know, right?
The intensity of his emotions, it's just palpable.
And the news report detailing his testimony, it really highlights the complexities of this case.
It does.
On one hand, he's claiming he was driven to the brink by his wife's actions.
But on the other hand, he's admitting to violence and control.
Right.
It's a tangled web of conflicting narratives.
The jury will have to untangle that web to determine whether Ali's mental state at the time of the murders mitigates his culpability.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough job for them.
No doubt. And it underscores the importance of a fair and impartial judicial system.
Absolutely. We have to trust that the system will work as it should.
Ali is facing life in prison if convicted.
Wow.
This case is far from over.
We'll have to wait and see what the jury decides.
We'll continue to follow it closely as it unfolds.
It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
These three cases, while vastly different in their details, they share a common thread.
What's that?
A dark undercurrent of violence and a search for answers.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a sobering reminder that even in the seemingly ordinary routines of life,
Darkness can lurk.
and the consequences can be devastating.
It's easy to feel overwhelmed by these stories, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
To want to just turn away from the darkness they reveal.
But I think it's important that we don't do that.
I agree with you there.
It's important to engage with these stories, to grapple with the uncomfortable truths they present.
Because that's how we learn,
Right.
how we grow, and how we work towards creating a world where these tragedies are less likely to occur.
We need to have open and honest conversations about these issues
Talk about domestic violence, accountability, the role of mental health.
and how we as a society respond to these complex situations.
Those conversations need to go beyond just expressing outrage or shock, though.
Yeah, I agree.
We need to delve deeper to examine the root causes of violence
Challenge harmful societal norms.
and create a culture where empathy, respect, and personal responsibility are paramount.
You know, we talked about apologies, or the lack thereof in the Diddy case,
Yeah, it seems like public apologies have become almost commonplace these days.
especially for celebrities and those in the public eye.
But do those apologies actually mean anything?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
In today's world where every misstep is instantly amplified on social media, public apologies have become almost a standard PR response to scandal.
But how do we know when an apology is genuine?
And not just a calculated attempt to salvage a reputation.
Are these apologies about true remorse?
Or are they just about damage control?
It's difficult to discern.
Especially when you're dealing with individuals who have teams of publicists and lawyers carefully crafting their statements.
It feels like we're constantly being bombarded with these carefully worded apologies.
That lack any real substance or commitment to change.
So it's more important than ever to be critical consumers of information,
To look beyond the surface.
to ask ourselves, what are the actions backing up these words?
Is there genuine remorse, a willingness to make amends, a commitment to doing better in the future?
Those are the questions we should be asking.
Whenever we encounter a public apology,
It's not about being cynical.
it's about being discerning, about demanding more than just empty words from those who have the power to influence our society.
Well said.
And speaking of discerning information, I think it's worth considering how social media shapes our perceptions of these cases and the pursuit of justice itself.
It's a great point. Social media has become such a dominant force in our lives.
It undeniably impacts how we consume and process information, especially when it comes to true crime.
On one hand, social media can be a powerful tool for raising awareness,
Connecting people with shared experiences.
mobilizing support for victims and their families.
But on the other hand, it can also be a breeding ground for misinformation, speculation, and even harassment.
It's so easy for narratives to get twisted, for opinions to solidify before all the facts are known.
Emotions run high, leading to a rush to judgment,
And that rush to judgment can have real-world consequences.
potentially impacting the fairness of trials, hindering investigations.
It's like everyone's an armchair detective now.
Dissecting evidence, proposing theories, passing judgment based on snippets of information they've gleaned from social media.
It's a phenomenon we've seen play out in numerous high-profile cases.
It highlights the importance of being mindful of the information we consume and share online,
Questioning sources.
recognizing that social media is often more about entertainment and engagement than it is about accuracy and nuance.
It's a challenge we all face in this digital age.
How to navigate the overwhelming influx of information to discern truth from fiction, to form our own informed opinions based on evidence and critical thinking.
That's ultimately what we're trying to do here on the Deep Dive.
We're not just presenting the headlines, we're digging deeper, examining multiple perspectives, providing context and analysis to help our listeners make sense of these complex issues,
We're not here to tell you what to think.
but to provide you with the tools to form your own informed opinions.
We believe that true understanding comes from engaging with different perspectives, questioning assumptions, and delving into the nuances of each situation.
And we hope that these deep dives provide you with a framework for navigating the complex world of true crime and beyond.
These cases we've discussed today are just a glimpse into the darker side of human nature. They're reminders that evil can lurk in unexpected places, and that the pursuit of justice is often a long and winding road.
But they're also reminders of the importance of vigilance, compassion, and a commitment to holding each other accountable.
We may never have all the answers, but by engaging in these conversations, by asking tough questions, and by challenging our own assumptions, we can move closer to a world where these tragedies are less likely to occur.
So to our listeners, we leave you with this challenge. Don't just be a passive consumer of information. Be active, be engaged, be critical. Dig deeper, question assumptions, and seek out diverse perspectives. The pursuit of truth and justice requires our active participation.
And if you're looking for a guide on that journey, well, you know where to find us. Join us next time for another deep dive into a topic that will challenge your perspectives and expand your understanding of the world around us.
Until then, stay curious, stay informed, and keep those critical thinking skills sharp.